Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Look, Wrestling 101, classes in session. Pay attention to the teachings, that's from Andrew and Derek. I mean, these guys making a killing with no competition. Dynamic duo better than the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. Everybody make some noise, mess with them, you get destroyed. They cannot be beat, take a seat. Watch them do their thing on the MIC. Face defeat, they cannot be seen like JC. Oh my goodness, it's a killing spree.
Wrestling hoo-ha and scoop, you need to listen to Wrestling IQ 101. It's the best.
Hey everyone, this is Andrew from Wrestling IQ 101. When I'm not hosting our podcast, I'm usually at collarandelbowbrand.com. That's right, Collar and Elbow is the only place that combines wrestling with street attire. And I know what you're thinking, I want to look fashionable too. And I also want to save 10%, so head over to collarandelbowbrand.com and use the promo code WIQ101 and look fashionable and save some money. And now, on with the show. Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew, and you can follow Wrestling IQ 101 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. And you can subscribe right here on YouTube by hitting that subscribe button. You can check out past episodes, current episodes, and future episodes. And today I'm sitting with Jenni Haas. How's it going, Jenni?
Hi, I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Jenni, I honestly, I think you have a pretty cool story. I mean, you're a second-generation superstar. You're a world champion in martial arts. It's pretty inspiring, the things you've been able to do, right?
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for like 8 or so years, and so I've really taken that seriously, like training a lot, and I love competing, so it's super fun. I'm very competitive, so it fit really well with my personality, and I love that.
Yeah, that's amazing, because I got to tell you, I did taekwondo as a kid. I got all the way to black belt, and then I kind of let it lapse. But you got to be very disciplined to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I did karate, and I got to like brown belt, but then it kind of fizzled out. It just wasn't, I don't know. I didn't really compete, and so there wasn't much, I don't know. I just wanted to do something different, so.
Yeah. Now growing up, were you always into like sports? Were you into like baseball, basketball? And I know you said in the previous interview you watched wrestling.
Yeah, so when I was growing up, I was pretty athletic. Like, I did gymnastics when I was younger, and I did artistic roller skating. In high school, I was a cheerleader, but like not basketball or anything. I remember when I was in elementary school, I think I tried out for basketball and did it like a week. It was the most embarrassing thing. Like, it was not my sport for sure. So I didn't get into things like find my niche, because it was definitely not basketball.
Yeah. And now you're originally from Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, I'm originally from Pennsylvania. Like, it's Reading, well, originally like Temple, but the big city is Reading. It's like an hour and 20 minutes outside of Philly. Okay, because I'm a Jersey boy, and that's where I grew up, Central Jersey. But, I know a lot of wrestlers, they have a big beef here between Wawa and Sheetz. Do you have a preference? Wait, say that one more time?
I know a lot of wrestlers have a little quarrel because they're either for Sheetz or for Wawa. Do you have a preference?
Oh, between Sheetz and Wawa?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I used to go to Sheetz more than Wawa, but I know like there's really big serious fans about Wawa.
Yeah.
But where I live, like, it was a huge thing where they had built like a Sheetz eventually, because it's a small town, and we used to always joke that it was like Club Sheetz at 2 a.m. because what else was there to do? Because everything closed in Pennsylvania so early, so then everyone would like gather at Sheetz.
Yeah, well, that sounds like my town. I have a quiet town. There's like no nightclubs or nothing, so Wawa would be like the hot spot for sure. That's funny. Club Sheetz. That's hilarious. So, being from Pennsylvania, the cheesesteak is a very popular place. Are you Geno's or Pat's or neither?
Wait, say that one more time. Sorry, my phone keeps cutting out.
Are you for Geno or Pat's or neither?
I don't think I've had either of those.
No?
The cheesesteak is a serious thing for me. And when I moved to Las Vegas, they don't put any steak sauce. And I don't even think they do it in Jersey. But like where I'm from, there's like an actual steak sauce. It's not marinara sauce. It's not like ketchup, or like it's an actual cheesesteak sauce. If you haven't had it, you are missing the best thing in your life ever. And you need to go to my town, and everywhere around there has it. Like every sandwich shop has a steak sauce there. It's like a red sauce. It's kind of like a marinara sauce, but it's not. It's a cheesesteak sauce. It is so good.
Is there a particular spot? Because I'm going to write this down, because I'm gonna try to make it out there.
Okay, you got to make it out. Like VNS has amazing cheesesteaks, and so does a place called Latanzio, and it's like right off the main road. Those two are my favorite spots, and every time I go home to visit, I hit both of them.
Wow, that's hilarious. So
yeah,
because we talk more than I try to talk about other things besides wrestling. Wrestling is the main thing. That's always the meat and potatoes. But I'd like to know a little bit more about it, I guess, because I feel like so the people listening, when you're not competing in these martial arts things or training for wrestling, what do you like to do in your downtime?
Oh my God, sleep. I feel like my whole day revolves around training. Like between like weightlifting, I do hot yoga because I love it. It's super relaxing and it's great like for your mentality. And then when I train jiu-jitsu, I train for pro wrestling. And so I train at least twice a day, every day, sometimes 3 times a day. And it's like when I'm not training, I just want to like crash, or I'll go to the movies, and like I love to eat, obviously, because I'm from Pennsylvania, and that's like the main thing to do there. So usually like dinner or just kind of hang out. But like I am definitely a big sleeper, and I mean rest is really important when you're training that hard. So I probably sleep more than the average person, but it's a part of the training regimen. So it's okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a guilty pleasure, right?
I justify it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I don't train as hard as you, but yeah, the sleep is very important. So that is true. Are you a morning person? Because I'm not, for sure.
Oh my God, no, I am not a morning person at all. I have worked for the school district for a very long time, and I worked at a high school. 7 a.m. is when high school starts. Like I struggle to get to work every day, probably since I started. One year I was that late that my boss moved my start time to 8 o'clock, and then that didn't start working. And so he's like, oh no, we got to go back to 7 the next year. So when I'm not working, I will never see 7 a.m. like ever. I will sleep till like 10 a.m. So high school out here, all the high schools usually run the same hours. They start at 7 a.m., which is super early for high school students, and they end like at 1:16, maybe 2 o'clock. But I've joked numerous times, and it's joking but also serious. I could sleep through the entire school day and not even blink an eye. And some people, they can't sleep. They're like, I can only sleep 4 hours a night, or, once it hits 7 a.m., because my body's so used to getting up that early, I'm up. Yeah, no, none of that. Like, you'd have to check on me because you think I'm dead. I'll just be up here, like, snoring for 12 hours at a time, and breakfast will come, lunch will come and go. I'm still up here snoring, and so...
Wow. So, your dad is Tito Santana, second-generation superstar. And I know you've been training with Kazarni and D'Lo Brown. Was there any like resentment about you coming in being a second generation superstar? Or was everyone like pretty accepting?
I will say the very first trainer I had, he made some comments like, oh, you have to earn everything, and you can't act like things are handed to you. People are going to resent you because, you'll feel like you're entitled, I guess. And so that was the only thing I've had. I don't train with him anymore. I train with someone else. I train under Sin Bodhi now at FSW, and everyone's been super nice. I mean, I don't think I'm entitled to anything. I don't know if some people would come in like that. I'm not really sure. I haven't trained pro wrestling that long, but I mean, I've been training physically in martial arts and things like that for a very long time. And so, I know my athletic ability is just as good as anyone else's, you know, but like with anything, like a good athlete, you come in and you just like say jiu-jitsu. Like you have an athletic person who's been doing athletics their whole life, martial arts. They're going to pick up jiu-jitsu faster than someone who's never been athletic. That's a given, you know, but you still have to put in the work. You're still a beginner when you start, and you have to learn specific aspects of that trade and that, you know, craft. So I would say it's the school I'm at now. No, like sometimes people make comments, but it's like they feel it's super cool to be training with someone who's like a second gen, as opposed to like, oh, here comes this yacht who thinks she's entitled to everything. So
no, I think it's pretty inspiring that you've been able to just pick up like a new career and do it pretty much on your own, because like you know, you have the vlogs and stuff like that. I mean, of course you have the trainers training you, but that's kind of impressive, like just start like fresh. Something new. It's kind of really fun.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I mean, it was super scary, and you know, I was hesitant about it. I'm not like in my teenage years starting something. You know, it's always easier to start stuff the younger you are. Just like, you know, you want to pick up a new language, like for sure it's easier to learn as a child than an adult. And I think that's true with any sport. Like the younger you start it, like it just becomes part of you more. So it definitely was a challenge to learn different things. But, you know, coming from a martial arts background, it is easier to pick it up. Like I am athletic a little bit, like that's my saving grace, you know. I'm not coming in like 100% cold, so I do have some background. And at the end of the day, like you're in a pro wrestling match, you know, you're having a fight with someone. So I know about that. So
yeah. Now your biological dad, Tito Santana, is one of the, I have to say, he's probably one of the best wrestlers on the planet. I mean, he's been in the ring with the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan and Greg the Hammer Valentine. I mean, legends of the game. And you know, do you feel any pressure living up to maybe how good he was, because he was technically sound?
I feel like I need to definitely study his matches, which I do, just because, like you said, like he was one of the greats. So anyone, even if I wasn't his biological daughter, I think anyone who gets trained by the trainers I do would use him as an example of a great wrestler, a great face. Definitely the way he was in the ring, just the whole package of him being in the ring, I think was, you know, an amazing show. And so anyone who trains is going to want to watch him and watch the greats to learn and to get better themselves. So as far as feeling pressure, I'm not really sure I feel any pressure. I feel like the audience probably will want to see some of his stuff, like emulated in me, just because of that second generation. But, you know, so taking those things, like everyone who's going to watch it is going to take it and make it their own. I think that's where, you know, I'll be unique, because I'm not going to be like a cookie cutter of him, but take some great things he did and kind of make them my own. And, you know, not just him, like you want to emulate all of the greats. I mean, that's what makes you better, you know, watching someone great and trying to do what they did and then do what they did better or make it your own, you know. So you got to strive in order to become your best. So
I like that.
No, but,
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. You got to strive. Yeah. You know, and it's funny because, you know, they're women in wrestling, right? They're taking over. I mean, they're main eventing WrestleMania. I happened to be there at 35 where Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch and Charlotte sold the show, and we're the main event. I mean, that was the marquee match. But now that you see all these other women, they're getting their time to shine. Are there any particular women that you have your eye on that you would love to get in the ring with?
Oh my gosh! So people always ask me that question. You know, like you said, like Ronda Rousey, like she's awesome. Like she paved the way for women's MMA, and now she's doing pro wrestling. Like that would be an awesome woman to get in the ring with, you know. And then like Charlotte Flair, she's also second generation. She is an amazing athlete. Like I've watched her matches, and I'm in awe of stuff that she's done in the ring. So I don't know if I'm at that level yet, or like I'm not worthy to get in the ring. But like, you always have those dream matches. And I think that for me, I've always been like able to or do better at rising to the occasion. Like if I'm in there with someone, I'll try harder to keep up with them you know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
Of course,
It's hard when you put when you put two beginners in there, like neither of them know what's going on. It's kind of like, oh gosh, like you can tell. But like if you put someone in there who really knows what they're doing, they can kind of talk the other person through it, and they'll kind of rise to that level because the other person is so good that they can carry someone who's a little bit less experienced. So
yeah, I'm gonna give you my 3 top picks though for you.
Okay.
And these are all 3 are going to be a Broadway match. So the first one I think is maybe Natty, Natalia.
Okay.
Rachel Ellering and Tessa Blanchard. I think that'd be fantastic. You got all the second generation, third generation. It'd be amazing. I think. Just all the separate matches. I think it'd be a kind of awesome billboard, like marquee match for promoters.
That's awesome.
But there's so many people like Chelsea Green. I mean, she's killing it. Many people. I mean, and it's awesome. I think it makes the wrestling world a lot better than it was when I was a kid. When women would just be in bikinis. I mean, now women are treated like real athletes, and that's the way it should always have been, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's more well-rounded. Where women used to just, kind of walk men to the ring and kind of be off to the side cheering, yay. But now, like you said, like women are main eventing things. They're the ones selling the tickets for some events, and people now look at them as athletes. I mean, no one can say that they're not as athletic as the men when you watch certain matches, there's no denying it anymore. So I think it's awesome that women are kind of like getting, the accolades that they deserve and things like that. So the exposure, I guess, is what I was looking for.
Yeah, and it's awesome. And now you're not camera shy. Have you done like sports news before in the past, right?
Yeah, I did some reporting for sports news for like MMA and stuff. So that was kind of cool.
So yeah. So now that you're in professional wrestling, you've gotten to be next to some of the biggest names like Jon Moxley, Enzo Amore, Ivelisse. Who's been the coolest person you've met since starting this journey?
Oh my gosh, I would say Moxley because it was I didn't realize I was going to meet him. He was just there, and he's like my son's favorite wrestler, and so I had asked him if he would do a shout out, and he did. It was super cool, like the videos on my Instagram, and it just so like I've met so many people that have been so kind and so accepting and embracing of me, but I guess because my son is so like in awe of him, like it almost like transferred to me, like this is so cool, So I would probably say him. It was an awesome experience getting to meet him and having him be so open to like sharing his time with me.
Yeah, I got to meet him during a meet and greet a couple of years back when he was Dean Ambrose. Nicest guy in the world. He was like the coolest dude. I was like, "Yo, can we do the Shield thing?" And he's like, "Yeah, brother, let's do it right now." And I was like, "That's awesome."
It's awesome. Like going to those, like I went to the WrestleCon and stuff. Like so many great wrestlers. I didn't get to meet her, but I saw like Britt Baker, and then you have like the older generation. I was able to meet like Bushwhacker, the Honky Tonk Man. We had a great conversation, and it's just so inviting. Like all of them are there, they're all willing to give you their time, and it's just a great environment, and no one acts like stuck up. There's amazing athletes in one room all coming together and supporting each other, which is a great thing.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I like that, you're not just doing the wrestling, you're also branching out. You're doing interviews, you're doing commentary. I mean, you're becoming like a really well-rounded performer. It's amazing. It's moving quickly.
Thank you. My commentary needs a little work. I've only done it twice, but I really enjoyed it, and it was really fun. So I really enjoyed doing that.
Really? Do you prefer... I think you probably prefer the in-ring stuff, right? But there's something to fall back on when, God forbid, like the day he comes to retire, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have different things. Like, my body definitely feels better after commentary, right, than getting in the ring or getting in a fight. So it's just another option, and getting to enjoy the show itself during the commentary is awesome, because sometimes if you're competing or you're wrestling, you don't really get to watch all the matches as closely because you're focused on your match or warming up or cooling down, and so getting to do the commentary, I was able to watch the whole UWW1 and UWW2 shows from start to finish, and just take in the great athleticism of the girls and things like that. So I enjoyed that.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, because you got the best seat in the house. You're right there. You're talking, and you get to talk about it. What's bad about that? Yeah, especially on the body. Especially, you're training 3 times a day. You're a mom. I mean, when do you have time just for yourself? I mean, it's crazy.
That's my sleep time. That's my sleep time.
So I know before you said you like going to the movies. You alluded to that before. Is there a certain type of movie that you're into, like a certain genre?
I mean, I love stand-up comedies, but usually the last movie I saw was the Elvis movie, which I loved because I love Elvis. And then the movie before that was the Top Gun Maverick, and I am a huge Tom Cruise fan. But I love, that movie was so well made and so well made for a sequel. It was great. So
you have a favorite show? Are you into reality shows, or just is there anything you like?
I used to watch reality shows. I am sometimes. Do you ever see the meme I don't like drama in my life, but if it's someone else's, I'm all in. Some of those shows are awesome. We used to watch. I think it was called Are You the One? And I can't believe I don't remember which season it was. It was season 1 or season 2, but it was my favorite show ever. And there was this one girl in there. Oh gosh, I just loved watching it. I was oh, she's so crazy, but it's so awesome to watch it unfold.
Wow, that's amazing.
But then you have to turn it off and have your own life drama free, because no one likes you being the crazy one.
Yeah, you gotta in your personal life, you got an STD. You got to stop the drama.
Yeah. That's a way to keep drama out of your life, is if you watch it, you get your drama fixed from someone else, and then you can be peaceful in your own space.
But yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, because and it's funny because I always like to ask people too, what kind of music do you like to listen to when you're training, or just in the car or something?
Oh my gosh, so when I listen to music, it is so varied. It will depend on, I'll have a hardcore, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor, or I love the song Break Stuff from Limp Bizkit, but then I'll listen to show tunes, or opera, or slow songs. It totally depends what mood I'm in. I've even lifted to sappy love songs before, or it's not that kind of day, so now I need something upbeat. It's so my music choice is so strange. I will run from oldies to 2022 music, and then R&B to rap to jazz is probably the only thing that I don't really listen to.
Wow.
But
that's amazing. Yeah. You really hit all the genres, and that's kind of
there's no method to it at all, or it's just so random.
That's a well-rounded person right there. I mean, that's just, if you're getting everything but jazz, I mean, I think you're pretty equipped to listen to whatever. That's awesome. So when and it's great because you've been in the ring with Erica Torres, and
yeah.
How wasn't it being in the ring with her? Did you learn a lot being in the ring with her? 'Cause she's great.
It was, it wasn't really a full match. It was just kind of like a cat fight thing. So I didn't get to learn from her like I would have wanted to, because it wasn't like a full match. And so I'm not really sure if I learned much of anything in that match, just because it was so short and quick. And it was kind of like a shoot style. So like it wasn't like pro wrestling as much as how I would have been in like a jiu-jitsu match, So I don't know. That was it was not the easiest, but like it was the most comfortable match for me, just because I wasn't worried about doing things that I've learned. I was just worried about being myself, like how I would normally. So it was just very comfortable for me.
Yeah.
But she's great. Like, I got to talk to her before and after the match, and, very nice girl, so.
Oh, that's awesome. That makes things even better when things after the match pan out, and hopefully you could set up for another one or something. Hopefully that's what the payoff is.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because you've also been in the ring with Blood Hunter and Kevin Sullivan, and you teamed up with Too Cold Scorpio. I mean, how awesome is Too Cold Scorpio? Because I met him. He's the sweetest guy.
He's awesome. Like, the stuff that he's still doing in the ring is crazy. Like, he's so athletic and so talented, and the Blood Hunter's like huge, and a very good wrestler, very amazing. And some of the stuff we did there, like, that was my first time ever in the ring, and we kind of like talked about stuff in the back and stuff I had never even done before. It was like, let's hope for the best with this one, And so, I mean, you can definitely tell when the match starts, like, I look like a deer in headlights because I was so nervous, but it kind of got better towards the end of the match. And it was a great experience, but I think that's always how you learn the most, like, just kind of throw them into the deep end and sink or swim. And even if you sink, like, you're still learning a lot from the experience. So it was a very, very valuable experience for me. Sure.
And, now that you've had your toe foot dipped in the professional wrestling world, that's easy for me to say. What are some of your goals? Are you looking maybe at AEW down the road, or WWE? Is there a particular place that you feel like you'll fit in better?
I mean, you always think maybe, Tito did such great things in WWF or WWE. Like, that's always like, a thought, like, if I followed in that legacy, like, that's, where it would lead or where it could lead. So that's always a great thing. But I mean, one of those two organizations, I think everyone that gets into pro wrestling kind of has that, like, dream of going into one of those two, because those are, the top two organizations. And everyone thinks, everyone who does pro wrestling in the indies or starts, like, that's always their goal. So...
I have to be honest with you, I've interviewed Tito, I think, like, now twice. Probably, I mean, he's a nice guy. I mean, he's very quiet and reserved. I mean, I mean, even in the back, I saw him a couple times. He just always knows how to carry himself like a true professional. It's crazy because he gets in the ring, he's like a killer in the ring, and you can kind of see that. Like, is that something you want to be, like a technical wrestler? Do you want to be a brawler?
Probably more of a brawler, just because that's probably my style. But, I mean, everyone wants to be a technical wrestler too, like, and technical. Yeah. As far as, like, high flying and, flips and all that stuff, there's people who do it great. I don't think that would be my style. I don't think I'm going to be, like, flying off the top rope every match. Definitely more concentrated with my feet on the ground and, like, toe-to-toe fighting. So that's just where my background is, and probably where I'm starting to develop as a wrestler. So,
that's awesome.
I mean, there's people who fly super high, like, they've already got that covered, like, I'm not going to compete with that. I gotta find my niche and what I do well, as opposed to trying to outdo someone who already is amazing at what they do.
That's amazing. And I can't wait to see more things you do, because I think it's one of the coolest stories that, like, you're a mom, you started this, like, later in life, and you're kicking ass at this thing. I mean, you're doing, we alluded to it before. You're doing the commentary, you're doing interviews, you're doing wrestling. I mean, you're winning martial arts championships. I mean, it's just crazy, and you just keep kicking butt. So that's you're definitely up there as somebody that people need to respect as a. I mean, I know Bailey likes to call herself the role model, but I think you're the living example of it. I mean, it's just pretty awesome.
Oh, I appreciate that. Super sweet. Thank you so much.
No, it's just from talking to you. I mean, I feel like I could feel that energy. Like you just have this winner mentality, and I wish I had that all the time. I feel like a lot of people wish they had that but yeah, it's just high energy and positive. That's just awesome. And I just wish you continued success in this world here.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Now, Jenni, before in closing, where can people get you on social media if they want to check out things, places you're going to be, things you're going to be doing?
Oh, definitely follow me. I have Twitter. It's a little wolf. So you can follow that. It's Jenni _Santana_, but my Instagram is what I am most active with, and that's also Jenni _Santana_. So definitely follow me on there, and then all the upcoming stuff that I'm gonna do. And I love selfies, so I get a lot of selfies of me on there. But
that's awesome. Who doesn't love a selfie, right?
Yeah, I was a little addicted at one time. Like when quarantine happened, like people picked up a new skill. Like some people learned a language, some people learned to play an instrument. Yeah. I took selfies. Like, I don't know, like I had a lot of time on my hands, and I probably should have picked something more valuable, like learned how to cook better or something. But yeah, definitely like mastered the selfie angle. So
did you get the Kim Kardashian book? Did she give like pointers or something?
No, I just my daughter's like good at social media too, so I probably having someone who's younger, they're always better at social media, right? Mm-hmm. So I just have to use her stuff. I'll be like, okay. Like she did a photo shoot for one birthday, and then I copied it the next day just to annoy her. It's on my Instagram somewhere. It's pretty funny.
That is hilarious, Jenni, and that's amazing. And I hope everyone gets to check out your stuff. I hope, because I think you're an amazing person. I think you're going to be fantastic, whatever you want to do in life. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for you inside that ring. And for us...
Thank you so much. And before I go, also follow us on Instagram at BioRestore. We're actually opening up a clinic in Las Vegas. So if you have any needs for like stem cells, exomes, hormone replacement, IV therapy, OT, PT, check us out. We'll be open in a few weeks, and we're super excited for that.
Oh, so congratulations on the opening.
Thank you.
That is fantastic. Yeah. Wow. So yeah, you're a businesswoman, wrestler. Oh boy, you're just adding to this list of credentials here. I mean, it's amazing. So, ass kicker. So, mom. I mean, you got everything checked off. That's pretty awesome. And for us, this has been Wrestling IQ 101. I hope you've enjoyed this interview with Jenni Haas. And for us, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. And don't forget to subscribe here at Wrestling IQ 101 on YouTube, and you get current episodes, past episodes, and future episodes just like this one. And we'll see everybody very soon.